So one of the things I talked about very early on is that we had issues with communication, and I felt like our our structure was too top heavy in the way that we communicate with each other. So one of the things I did was I took a deputy chief position out from between me and the assistant chiefs so that I could have direct communication with the chiefs that were running each division. It gives better opportunity for communication not only from me to the assistant chiefs that are really running operations, but it also allows them to talk to each other as peers and work out issues at that level. The major change is that we had 4 lieutenants in the patrol division. If you remember when we talked early on, I talked about pushing that empowerment of officers down to the officer level. And one of the things that was occurring with patrol lieutenants on every shift was that they kind of became a super sergeant. We had sergeants that were there to supervise, but there was always someone there to override what they said. So we had very capable supervisors who were really not given the opportunity I don't think that they were given the opportunity to supervise. What that also did is it caused officers to lean on their sergeants for decisions that they should be making. They weren't really problem solving in a way that benefited community policing. So by reducing that number to 2, it really forces the sergeants to take a leadership role on their shifts, and it gives officers the opportunity to solve problems at their level. We have some of the sergeants have been moved around a little bit, but for the most part there's not a whole lot of change there. Like our canine sergeant is now under patrol instead of the investigative folks. We have probably the most notable is we have the sergeant who is over the community outreach unit is going to be moved to the training and recruitment unit.
Okay.
The purpose behind that is we want the community outreach unit to be used as a training tool for all of the officers so that we can take what COU was doing with that service delivery or that community caretaking function and spread it to all of the officers and all the beats. Yeah, I have the person who on your chart it says administrative services manager. That actually is going to be changed to an assistant to the chief. The person in that role does budget and acquisitions. She manages HR, human resources, payroll, and some of the administrative staff here. She deals with grants and all of those types of things.
Sure.
And I felt it was important that she answered directly to me, especially because she controls the budget. Administratively, our professional standards folks, or our internal affairs unit, and our accreditation manager both report directly to me, which I thought was important. The game plan is to empower officers to make decisions to solve problems in their beats. This is the first step in having officers stay in their beats and communicate with the other divisions in a way that they can solve problems, where communication is streamlined, where policy, training are managed in a way that they interact with each other, including our internal affairs. So when we have issues where we see a policy violation and it's a training issue, this is going to allow for better communication between those units so that training, IA, and policy can work together to make things more streamlined and improve our accountability. There's really no real cost associated to this. I'm not a budget person, but after talking to my assistant, there's not a lot of change in the budget because of these changes. So I've done a lot of things to try to give officers more discretionary time, more time to deal with issues in their parts of town. We have streamlined report taking, online reports. We've given low-level reports to our community service aides. Until I've had time to examine all of that, I don't want to say how many people I need. I know that I'm going to need more people, but I don't know what that number is yet. Right now we're actually down 5 positions, but we have 2 that'll be retiring here in the next week or so. So we're actually going to be down 7. So we have people in hiring processes, so that number will shrink pretty rapidly. But I am trying to be as efficient as I can be with the resources that I have. I want to make sure that we're being transparent. I want to make sure that we're communicating well with each other and that we're communicating well with the people outside of this building. I think that these changes help. Obviously, I think anybody who pays attention to what I've been doing knows that eventually I'm going to need more police officers. But until I've had time to get these changes truly made throughout our organization and in full swing, I won't know how many officers I need and how efficient this is. I'm pretty excited to see how this will work out.